أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك هم الخاسرون. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن سبع سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام. All right, Jibrail, you read first.
Alright. الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما
If you're going to pause here or give a gap, then you should stop here simply. ميثاقه.
ميثاقه
Yeah.
ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل
No,
ويفسدون
no,
في
no.
الأرض.
Lam should not be stretched even a little bit. أن
Oh.
يوصل ويفسدون.
أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك هم الخاسرون. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن سبع سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين.
All right, Aziza, your turn now.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك هم الخاسرون. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن سبع سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم.
No ikhfa, please, because Ain is one of the throat letters. وهو بكل شيء عليم.
وهو بكل شيء
No, bache.
عليم.
I told you not to apply ikhfa. You're again applying ikhfa. Why? وهو بكل شيء عليم.
وهو بكل شيء عليم.
Next.
وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك
بحمدك. Don't.
بحمدك
Mm. Next.
ونقدس لك. قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين.
صدق الله العظيم.
صدق
صدق
الله.
الله العظيم.
All right. When they meet those who have Iman, they say, we also have Iman. But when they are alone with their devils, their leaders, they say, we are really with you in faith. We were only mocking the mu'minin. Talking about the hypocrites, when among the Muslims, they claim to be Muslims and they say, we have faith. We believe whatever you believe. But when they go to their leaders, the munafiqeen, the hypocrite leaders, they say that we were only mocking the Muslims. We're making fun of them. We are with you. It is Allah who mocks them, delays their punishment, thereby making them believe that they will not be punished, and gives them rope, delays their punishment in their disobedience, in their kufr, as they wander blindly in confusion. So Allah is mocking them because Allah does not immediately punish the hypocrites so that they would believe that they are doing the right thing and they can deceive Allah easily, na'udhu billah. And then after, when they die, they are given severe punishment. So
Yeah.
in reality,
Interesting.
Allah is trapping them in their own trap. You can say that.
Mm.
Yeah. So it is not they who are mocking the mu'mineen, it is Allah who is mocking the hypocrites. These are the people who have purchased misguidance, error at the price of guidance. So their trade shall neither be profitable. In fact, their trade shall earn them the great loss of everlasting destruction in the akhirah. Nor will they be guided in their efforts. Their likeness, the comparison of the hypocrites is like that of people who lit a fire. When the surroundings lit up and they enjoyed the light, heat, and security of the fire, Allah took away their light and left them in the darkness, unable to see. They cannot find their way and are scared. Similarly, while the hypocrites are pleased to pose as mu'mineen and enjoy their security, they will panic when they die and face punishment in the akhirah. Alright, so this is actually a parable. This is
Mm.
what you may say, there is a special word for that, analogy.
Metaphor?
That's, yeah, it's a
Analogy.
metaphor. Yeah, it's an analogy, it's a metaphor, whatever you can say. So what is it means that Islam is uh, given an analogy of a light. So when they lit
Mhm.
a fire, when a person lights a fire in the dark, the surroundings are lit and he can see it. Now, in the ancient times, as you know, there was no electricity and stuff, and people living in the desert and forest and jungle, they would just burn some wood, and then they would create a torch out of it, and then they would be able to see the immediate surroundings in the dark. So Islam is like a light which enlightens them about their whereabouts, about what is their purpose of life, how to live their life, and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Now, but when they started this fire, when they were enlightened enough to understand the truth of Islam, despite of understanding, they still rejected it because of their greed and weakness of character, and that is why Allah snatched their insight from them. And as a result, they
Mhm.
become more firm in their kufr, in their hypocrisy. And that is why they will be severely punished at the day of judgment. Deaf, unwilling to hear the truth, dumb, unable to say anything good, and blind, unable to see the straight path. They will never return to the straight path. So their ears are working, they can hear things, but they are deaf. Deaf from what? They cannot hear the truth, they cannot understand the truth. No matter how many logical explanations the other person is giving them about Islam, they will not be able to understand it because their hearts have been sealed because of their stubbornness in the beginning. And they are dumb, unable to say anything. Although their tongues are working, but they cannot say the truth. The truth cannot be come out of their mouths. And blind, even though their eyes are working, but they cannot see the straight paths, the path of Islam. So this is also, you can say, a metaphor. Or you can also say that they are spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind. They will never
Hmm.
return to the straight path. Or the analogy of the hypocrites is like pouring rain from the sky, accompanied by a giant deal of darkness as well as thunder and lightning, for fear of death. They, those caught in the storm, push their fingers in their ears because of the frightening sound of the thunder in an effort to keep out the sound. Similar is the condition of the hypocrites, who try not to hear the verses of the Quran that condemn kufr and which contain warnings and clear proofs. So, the warnings and the condemning of kufr and hypocrisy in the Quran is like lightning and thunder. So they put fingers in their they put fingers in their ears and they do not listen. They try to just shut that down. What does mean that whenever the Quranic verses are recited and it is mentioned in the Quran about the punishment and the hellfire and the Quran condemns the kufr and hypocrisy and all the warnings, they just don't pay heed. They just go away. They don't listen to the Quran at that time. They don't pay attention. They don't focus. They regard these to be darkness, thunder, and lightning, fearing that if they listen to all of it, it will result in the death of their own religion within themselves. All right, so they are afraid of Quran because they think that if they will listen to the Quran, inside their hearts, which is full of kufr and disbelief, their false and fake religion, their idol worship will go away. So that is why they are afraid of the verses of. So they do know that Quran has a power of its own. It affects your heart if you understand it properly. But still, they do understand it, but they don't want to acknowledge it, and they don't want to change their ways. This is why. However, they are unable to silence the deen of Allah despite their efforts. Even though they are conspiring against Islam, living among the Muslim community, try to blame every bad thing to them, try to destroy them from the inside, but still they are unsuccessful. After all, Allah encompasses the kafirun, Allah surrounds them completely, regardless of what plan of action they choose. Allah has complete knowledge of everything they do, and He has complete power over them. They cannot escape Him. Soon the lightning, the clear proofs of the Quran, may take away their eyesight. It may awaken their sleeping hearts by removing the blindness of their spiritual eyes. Whenever it is, okay, now it is a turning point. Now it is not talking about the strong or stubborn or staunch hypocrites, but the lukewarm Muslims or the shallow hypocrites who are not that strong or firm. Sometimes they do good, sometimes they do bad. Whenever Islam becomes easy for them, they start practicing. Whenever anything comes difficult, they stop practicing. This is the kind of people which we are talking about now. So whenever the lightning lights up the way for them, they walk in it, in its light. But when darkness overcomes them, they stand still. Whenever they hear something that appeals to them, they accept. But no sooner do they hear something they do not like than they reject it. If Allah wills, He could even take away their physical abilities of hearing and seeing, just as He took away their spiritual eyes and ears. Verily, Allah has control over all things.
Mhm.
So if we understand the Quran and if we recite and listen to the Quran with understanding, it inshallah it will wash away our sins and it will enlighten our hearts and minds so that we could understand the straight path correctly. O people, worship only your Rabb who has created you and who has created those before you, so that the worshipping Him you may develop taqwa, piety. Worship your Rabb who has made the earth a bedding for you, which is neither too hard nor too soft, the sky a roof, and has sent water for you from the sky, using it the water to bring forth fruits, all types of foods for your sustenance. So never make others equal partners to Allah in worship when you know that they cannot create as Allah creates and therefore do not deserve to be worshipped. When Allah has created everything, only He deserves to be worshipped. The statues which are worshipped and the idols which are worshipped by the non-believers, they are also not themselves, uh, they are also not their own creators. Allah has created the material and humans have out of those material carved those statues. So it is foolish for those humans to worship those statues whom they have carved themselves with their own hands. In reality, Allah is the one who has to be worshipped because He is the creator of everything. And nobody created Allah. Allah was from eternity, from the very beginning of the beginning and from the very end to the end. Allah has
Yes.
no beginning, Allah has no end. Allah is unlimited. And
Okay.
there is no uh, point in time where there was no existence and then Allah came into being by itself. Not at all. This is not the case. Allah is outside time because Allah has created time itself. And when Allah is outside time, then it means that Allah was always there. Then He created the time and then He created this universe and the other worlds. So Allah was always there. So if someone says who created Allah or when did Allah came into being, the answer is that Allah is outside the time. If you say that Allah came into being, na'udhu billah, Allah forbid, then it means that Allah is not the creator anymore. Someone created Allah. But that is totally false. That is totally wrong. Allah is the uncreated one. He was always there. He is outside the time. He has created time itself. Everything inside the time is the creation. Allah is outside the time because Allah is not the creation. Allah is the creator itself. So, this is the reality. Allah was always there. Allah will always be there. If you are in doubt about what we have revealed to our bondsmen, if you doubt that the Quran which was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is from Allah, then produce even a single surah like any in the Quran, something that can match the eloquence, the beauty, the style, and the prophecies of the Quran. Now Allah is challenging all the humans in the world. Now Arabs were famous for their language skills. The Arabic language is very deep language. One word has multiple meanings. And there are several words describing, there are many multiple words describing one concept. For example, there are 1,000 names for camel. 1,000 in Arabic, 1,000 names for camel based upon their different properties. So Arabic is a very eloquent language. Now, the Arabs used to call non-Arabs Ajami. And Ajami means dumb, those who cannot speak. What do you mean by that? The Arabs consider the non-Arabs cannot speak anything because there is no language equal to Arabic. So Arabic is superior to all languages. That is why only the Arabs can speak and the rest of the world is dumb. So Arabs are racist, not based upon color or wealth or lineage. Arabs are racist based upon language.
That's funny.
Now, Quran is revealed in Arabic, and when it was revealed, the great Arab poets were astonished listening to the beauty of Quran. Message of the Quran is a separate thing. I'm only talking about the beauty of the verses of the Quran, the way in which it is ordered, the way in which it is recited, the words inside it, the beauty of the words, the eloquence, the expression, the metaphors used in it. All of that combined together. They were astonished. And Allah challenged them during their time. If you are truthful, produce one surah. The smallest surah is Suratul Kawthar, only 3 verses. Nobody could meet that challenge. And till Qiyamah, nobody can meet that challenge. You have supercomputers, you have dictionaries, you have scholars, and there are many well-studied, well-read people of the Arabic literature in the West and in the East. Muslims, non-Muslims, Arabs, non-Arabs. There are many people who are very eloquent in Arabic language, but still they cannot uh, they cannot beat this challenge. They cannot defeat
Interesting.
their challenge. They cannot beat this challenge until Qiyam. So, because this is the book of Allah, this is the speech of Allah, the Creator Himself. That is why Allah has challenged them. And the challenge is open still today. Until Qiyamah, the challenge is open. And
So
you
does
are
every
also.
Muslim have to learn?
What?
Does every Muslim have to learn Arabic?
Yeah, Muslims, it is one of the duty of Muslims to learn Arabic. It is true because everything what we do is in Arabic. The salah which we offer is in Arabic. The rulings of Islam are in Arabic. So we have to learn at least up to that point where we can understand the message of the Quran and the salah which we are on. So Arabic is one of the most important things which we have to learn in Islam. But if a person does not learn Arabic, it does not mean that he will become a non-Muslim, not at all, or he will be punished at the day of judgment, not at all. This is not the case. Yes, Tajweed is something else. Learning Tajweed is obligatory. Reciting the Quran with correct pronunciation is the bare minimum requirement. Because if we pronounce the words wrongly, the meanings will be changed and we will be sinful. And our salah will be broken. It will be nullified if we recite the Quran or the salah improperly. But that is totally, we have to learn Tajweed at all costs. As far as the Arabic language and the meanings itself is concerned, that is optional, but still it is recommended. You cannot say that it is completely obligatory, but it is recommended, especially in this East Asian time where Islam is being attacked from all fronts, intellectually and physically, materially also. In order to protect our faith, we have to know what Quran is talking about, so that if a person tries to create doubt in our heart and tries to question us and challenge us and try to spread misinformation about Islam, we are able to answer and counter him. We will only be able to answer him if we know our religion ourselves properly. And that is only possible if we learn the Arabic language. That is one of the most important things. In order to learn Islam, learning Arabic is the most essential part. So yes, it is true. We have to learn Arabic. It is
Interesting.
you can call it highly recommended, not obligatory, but highly recommended, especially in our times.
Interesting.
So like even if you like read the Quran, you still have to learn it. Even so, like
Of
it's important.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Look, we will earn rewards if we recite the Quran, but we will gain more benefits if we also understand what we are reciting. And we will gain, and then we will gain uh, more rewards when we will act upon our understanding also. Okay, then we based upon our sincere actions, we will become true Muslims. Islam is not about only talking. Islam is not about only reciting. Islam is all about actions. But our actions can only be corrected if we recite first of all and then understand the Quran properly and the Sunnah as well. And then we can correct our actions. So when we will read this verse, Allah does not like the liars. Allah does not like the unjust ones. When we will recite this verse again and again and again with understanding, then eventually one day we will realize, our conscience will realize, we should not tell a lie. Allah does not like the liars. Allah does not like the unjust ones. Allah does not like those who sell products, fake products. Those who are not fair in their business dealings, Allah does not like those people. Allah does not like those who break their promises. When we recite the Quran without understanding, and there is a verse where Allah is saying that Allah does not like the liars, but we do not understand the meaning of the verse, then how can we change our character? How can we improve ourselves when we are not understanding what we are reading? We are just reciting the Quran. We will earn the rewards of recitation, but there is no understanding behind it. There is no meaning. So how can our personality be changed? So with understanding, when we will understand it, we will again and again recite the same thing. Our minds will be programmed according to it, according to the teachings. And then we will, after understanding and reciting it with understanding again repeatedly, eventually we will come to realize that yes, lying is a bad thing. Allah does not like the liars. We have to be truthful. That is how our character will change. And when the majority of the Muslim Ummah will be telling the truth, will be honest, where they will be fair, then in the eyes of non-Muslims, their status and their respect will increase, their honor will increase. Then people will say, Muslims do not tell a lie, Muslims do not do unfair business. Let's trade with them. If a Muslim becomes a witness against anything in a case, his witness, his testimony will be accepted by the judge, because overall the Muslim Ummah will become famous as the truthful ones and the honest ones. What was the title of the Prophet during his life in Makkah for 40 years? Sadiq and Amin, the truthful one, the trustworthy one. These were the titles of the Prophet even before the announcement of prophethood. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam announced his prophethood, and the Quran was started being revealed on him at the age of 40. But before the age of 40, for 40 years in Makkah, his title was, all the people loved him, respected him, and they would say the trustworthy one, the truthful one, because he never told a lie. And people would give their belongings to him for protection, that we are going somewhere, please protect our belongings, because he was a trustworthy one. What kind of society was that in which he was living? The society of thieves and bandits.
Oh.
Yeah. Because there was no agriculture or industry in that area, it was a desert. So people used to survive by robbing each other. This was their thing. In that kind of society, a person who is completely truthful and trustworthy, so he was given the names As-Sadiq Al-Amin, the truthful one, the trustworthy one. Now, if the whole ummah, if the majority of the ummah becomes the trustworthy one and the truthful one, don't you think they will be also respected?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Now, what is the case? Muslim traders, Muslim businessmen are not trustworthy anymore, because they are not following Islam, because they do not understand the Quran. They only think that, we are offering prayer, 5-time prayer, paying the charity, now that's enough. But what are you saying in the prayer? What are you reciting? What are you saying? You are reciting without understanding, then. So only the outward actions are not enough. Our inner correction and rectification and our training of our soul is also important. That can only happen when we start understanding what we are reading. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is why learning the Arabic language is very, very necessary. Okay. And you are also at liberty to call your witnesses, your helpers, and deities besides Allah if you are truthful. Stand up to this challenge if you feel that you are truthful in your claim that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the author of the Quran. If your claim is correct, you will easily be able to compose something equal, if not superior, because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an untutored person. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not know how to read and write. He did not know how to read and write. And he was like that because Allah willed it, so that people could not accuse him that he has copied the Quran from somewhere. Because how can a person who cannot even read and write copy anything from anywhere?
That's true.
Yeah. So he was an untutored. So those people who claim that it is the poetry of Prophet Muhammad, Quran is the poetry of Prophet Muhammad, Allah is challenging them. If you think that this is the poetry or this is the speech of a human, then if you are also humans, just gather around. You are the best Arabic scholars and you know Arabic very well. You are proud of your language, so much so that you call other people dumb. So if you are so eloquent, produce even one surah like that. Automatically your claim will become true if you are able to produce one. But the most eloquent and the best poets of the Arabic language could not and cannot produce even one single surah, the smallest surah. Many people tried, but they failed miserably. They could not match the beauty of the Quran, no matter what.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. And the Jews, remember this, the Arab Jews who are living in Israel, in the Arab world, the Israeli Jews and all the, in their universities, they say that Quran is the most eloquent piece of Arabic literature. In Arabic literature, there is nothing better than the Quran. They also accept this reality, even though they don't believe in Islam, but still they acknowledge the beauty of the Quran. That in Arabic language, this is the most eloquent book. No other literature in Arabic surpasses the Quran. Even the Jews accept that, admit that. All right, so inshallah, meet you tomorrow. Wish you best of luck. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.